what I want to introduce here is the biopolitics that we're talking about of security in the 21st century is part of an eschatology. And if you like, it's an end times eschatology, a manufactured end times eschatology. And if we see the definition here of the esoteric, they have an esoteric worldview. The dominant elites, that they're oligarchs. They operate behind the facade of democracy, and it's an adjective. It's understood or meant for only the select few. And a big part of this that we've talked about so far is Hermetic Kabbalism, and it's a system of control of the mind and fits nicely into the dynamic and the paradigm of biopolitics. And it is a system that induces doublethink into the individual. And just that's so 1984, right? Doublethink. And that's very much a mechanism of um, employed by Kabbalists for control of the mind. And so there's a double-mindedness when we look into the esoteric aspects of the events of what's going on. Control, money, the ultimate frontier of that is a control of your mind, body, and spirit for a project of their own ascension. So our bodies and our code are something that are involved in their own apotheosis. And if that sounds crazy, you work with me a little bit more and I'll provide a context so that we can look into that and see if that squares with events going on in the world today. But ultimately, I'm going to suggest here at the grandest level that there is one game above all games going on here in all dimensions, which it's a fundamental cosmic battle between good and evil. And I just ask you to open your mind to that possibility. Okay. And once you see that at play, there is a relationship between two dimensions. And as my favorite writer, Dostoevsky, noted, after a lifetime of looking at politics, power, and literature, he that's what he argued. In fact, what he sees here is a cosmic chessboard, and the stakes are the souls of man. And I want to finish with this idea. If you've seen the Kabbalah, I brought a lot of this Hermetic, Kabbalistic, Rosicrucian, Gnostic, New Age. I said it was pull them all together, and I use the Kabbalah because I think it best embodies, and I put those out as 7 points that Greg Alexander McGee put in terms of bringing all this together into one worldview that the dominant oligarchical class has. And it really is this idea of the all over and over and over. So there's this beginning of time. Everything was one, very Kabbalistic. It kind of exploded. That's their Big Bang explanation. They put it into science, something that's not at all scientific. Something came from nothing, no science behind it. It is a religion shoved down your throat at the university. But that's the all. Something began from one. There's millions of emanations, 1,000 points of light, and that there's this job to capture it and bring it all back together. And it's an eschatological mission. And the initiated and the elite and the wise men are going to be doing that. And to them, in their own minds, it is interdimensional. And just one hint into how this works in the Kabbalah is mentalism. And that's just in the 19th century. This is from the beginning of time. There's different words put onto this, but mentalism, or what they'll call expressing certain sympathies for things in the world, can bring this into an existence. And I think this has been popularized because I believe what's going on here is a grand initiation of all of us into this Kabbalistic project of learning how to think, that sort of name it and claim it. And Oprah's book a few years ago, or book she introduced a few years ago, The Secret. And this is the time of revealing. And so all of us are going to be part of this Kabbalistic belief system that through our minds, sympathies, this type of mentalism, we can shape the world. And what I'm going to introduce to us is, as we're kind of going down that path of using these sympathies, the secret, that we're being initiated, and ultimately it's there so that we're tools of this larger project of singularity. And where we're at right now, the esoteric piece of this, as far as the oligarchs are concerned, they're at the project right now. They're so big on trying to explain that they know what's going out there on this 34th black hole of the Treviverse, and then down at the molecular level. These are things that they'll admittedly, if they're on, don't understand at the smallest and largest levels. They do not understand it any more than they understand the code of your DNA. It's a language and a movement that they cannot understand. But they're claiming right now that these things are collapsing and coming in on each other all around us. Now, whether or not this is true, I do not know. But if you look at the news, especially science news on a daily basis, they're saying this universal theory is about to come together, and we're living in this exciting time. And ultimately, they themselves have increasingly been called the Ouroboros. This is part of their esoteric philosophy that we're going to conquer the code, the universe from the ends, from its totality down to the molecular level, and it will be a system by which we will live and reign forever, and our great work will be completed.